What's up, YouTube? I'm Mike, and today I'm walking again because I can't really shoot this content in the house with the kids, so I apologize if there's too much wind noise or lighting problems or whatever. But as you know, from the video that I shot, or as I'm sure you can imagine, from the video that I posted last night, my Trenbolone marriage rant, things have been a little dodgy in the house lately, and it actually got even worse yesterday. Last night, because when I shot the second video of the day, my wife heard me mention that she heard me mention that I had made a rant about our marriage. And so she went into the bedroom while I was working on the second video that I put up today, and she watched the rant that I made about her. And I didn't know that she was watching it. So I go in the bedroom last night, and needless to say, I've never seen her so fucking pissed off in my life. Like the looks of she looked like she wanted to murder me. So it's probably important to say at this point in the video, I did not kill myself. If I get Epsteined, okay, I did not kill myself. If I was even remotely getting to that point, you guys would probably be the first to know about it. So if it goes down, I'm gonna need somebody in the comment section to launch an investigation, because it wasn't me. So all of that being said, basically I go into the bedroom and I tried to start up a conversation about what we're doing next with our RV plans. I thought that would be relatively safe, although it actually has been the source of quite a bit of discord, but I had done some more research, and so I just was trying to mend fences and bring up this topic for conversation. And I'm sure that wind is blowing right on that camera right now. And she is just looking at me with pure hatred in her eyes. And so she basically just gets up, she goes in, she slams the door, and she says, "I'm gonna try to come." And I'm like, what? Okay. So to cue you in a little bit as to the way it goes down in my house, typically sex for us starts off with some type of foreplay, typically 69 for 10 or 15 minutes. And she, sometimes she'll go down on me while she plays with the vibrator, some kind of foreplay, right? So this goes on for usually 10, sometimes 15 minutes before we get to the actual act of sex. Sarah is dependent upon vibrators, okay? She can occasionally finish without one, but it's a very rare occurrence. So it's something that I'm not jealous of. It's just been a part of our marriage. And so I don't worry about it. It's part of the act. And so she uses that while I go about my various routine. Again, I have to keep this relatively clean for the purposes of YouTube. We produced all of this content and put it on OnlyFans at one point, but nevertheless, so that's basically the way it goes down. 100% of the time that we have sex in our household, it's because I pursue it. She is incapable of pursuing it. And it's not that she never wants to. So that's been the fight that we've been having recently that I mentioned in the previous video, is that I have to do everything. She doesn't know how to pursue me in any way. So she'll make little statements like, "Wow, I feel really horny today" on the Anavar. Or she'll say, "Oh, I was really horny this morning," telling me that fucking 8 hours later. She'll tell me that she wants it. She'll tell me that she's in the mood, but she doesn't do anything to instigate. I've been with girls who will do a little strip tease, they'll get out the porn, or they'll just start kissing you, touching you. They'll do something, right? Sarah's whole pre-sex operation is basically just lay there in bed and listen to me talk until eventually I do something to instigate it. She will just not instigate it. And when I get into these moods, or when I fuck up my estrogen or something, sometimes I just get tired of it, I'll go in there and I'll get on a tangent talking about something, and it'll just never happen. And I've told her a million times, why don't you instigate it? If you're in the mood, why don't you say something? Why do you just wait and sit here and talk for 2 fucking hours and get nowhere? Why don't you just pop out the porn? Why don't you just start going down on me? Why don't you just start playing with yourself? Like, even if I'm not in the mood, I'm sure most of the guys in the audience can agree, if your girl just plops down in bed next to you and whips out a vibrator and starts going to town, even if you weren't in the mood in the beginning, you're probably gonna get in the mood real fucking quick. So there's tons of ways that a woman could instigate sex if she wanted to, and she just doesn't. And so I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm like, I'm not gonna sit here and just assume you want it. Just because you give it to me all the time whenever I request it, like, fuck that, man. I wanna feel desired too. And so I've been kind of a dick lately, and I just haven't been pursuing it. She'll go to bed and I'll handle my own business, because fuck it, why do I have to be the one? So last night, she gets in bed, or like I said, she closes the door and she goes, I'm gonna try to come. And I'm like, okay, wasn't exactly how I was explaining to you that you could open the gate, but beggars can't be choosers. So honestly, in the beginning, she was in such a foul mood, I wasn't even gonna touch her. So I'm just laying there researching trailers and shit, and she's covered up. She's like completely under the covers. She's going to town with the vibrator. This goes on for about 10 minutes. She's not really getting anywhere. I can tell she's pissed off. I can tell this is not what she really wants, or there certainly doesn't seem to be. But then she starts kind of getting close a couple of times, and so you can tell just kind of by the moaning and the groaning, which of course eventually, as much as I was trying to ignore it, did get me turned on. So then I start kind of debating whether or not I should even attempt anything, because it's just been so volatile. And finally I was like, you know what? She's laying in bed next to me masturbating. Like, what am I gonna be? Like, well, why not? So I just pulled the covers off of her, and she gives me this death glare. Like, I don't know what she thought, because it's that kind of conflicted moment for a woman where on the one hand she fucking hates my face and she wants to murder me, but two, she's not getting off from playing with the toy alone. She clearly needs a little something else. She never wants to just do that. I've told her all the time, like, I don't care if you do. And so it's like one of those deals where she wants it, but she hates me and she doesn't want to admit it. So she's being real resistant. So of course, I have to fiddle around and get the lube, because one of the other problems we have is that she doesn't self-lubricate at all. Interestingly though, she did self-lubricate once. I'm gonna get in trouble for admitting this shit too. There was a couple of week period where my wife had no problem getting wet. Coincidentally, that period of our marriage, the whole 8 years we've been together, basically she's been able to get wet 2 times. One of those times was immediately after I admitted to having a quasi affair with another woman at work. Now, we weren't actually sleeping together, but it was definitely an emotional affair. And somehow, as crazy as this is to admit, that apparently turned my wife on quite a bit, because it was like a fucking slip and slide for 2 weeks after that, and then the waterworks dried up again. So again, this is one of my persistent complaints in this marriage. I know she can get wet. I've experienced it. She just fucking doesn't, and I think this is a fucking bullshit problem. Imagine if a man could only get an erection like 2 weeks out of a fucking 7-year marriage. First of all, there wouldn't be a 7-year marriage. There's so many things about the woman's body that men are just supposed to put up with. Like if I have erection problems, I take fucking drugs and get it figured out. If my dick stopped working, I'd be at the doctor every single day of the week. I'd get a fucking crane. I would do whatever I had to do to fix this. But when it comes to female lubrication, it's always like, oh, well, that's normal. Bitch, no, it's not normal. It's not normal. I've been with plenty of girls who had no problem lubricating. I refuse to believe that your inability to function on a normal sexual level is normal. Maybe normal for you, but it's not the way you were designed to work. Something is clearly wrong, and somebody needs to get that shit figured out. Nevertheless, so I get the lube out and I get to work. And you could tell like she's real pissed off and she's trying to decide whether I'm gonna take advantage of her, which I never do. I've been abusive to my wife in more than one way. I am not abusive toward her sexually. And I don't play games with that. I don't think it's funny. So I was real gentle. I was real slow, make sure she was gonna be okay with it. I wasn't trying to hurt her in any way. And so I'm just kind of doing my thing and she's doing her thing. And then all of a sudden, this is totally uncharacteristic. She's never done this before in her life. She goes, "Be still." Be still? The fuck? So usually when we have sex, she's playing with a vibrator. She uses a vibrator called the Rose, and it's kind of bulky. So it prevents us from having a lot of body-to-body contact because I will just knock it out of the way with like my torso. So what often happens is I have to kind of lean back. So she's laying on her back, her legs kind of spread, wrapped around me, and I'm penetrating her basically like doggy style, but kind of lean back so I'm going up at an angle, which is what she seems to like. So occasionally she will kind of take control and she'll kind of ride me like from the laying down position, if that makes any sense. I took a picture, doesn't really convey anything. So usually like I'll pump her for a little while until I, need a break, and then she'll take over for a little while until she gets tired, and we go back and forth, and sex usually lasts 20, 30 minutes, plus 10 minutes of foreplay. That's usually our routine. Sometimes less, usually not more than 30 to 45 minutes total. So that's the routine. So she says, "Be still." I'm like, shit, okay. So I just get still, and she goes to just pumping and grinding, and I mean, hate fucked me is what it felt like. She gave me the evil eyes. I mean, it was like she just used me. You can tell that I'm terribly broken up about this, right? I mean, it was like, I am gonna use your dick and make myself come, you motherfucker. And she did. That's what she did. She just grinded away until she got where she was going and squirted all over the fucking mattress and all over me and all over everywhere else. And then I flipped her over on her side and finished myself off. And that was how our evening went last night. So I don't know if that's a good thing, a bad thing. I don't know if this is signs of things to come. At one point I definitely thought she might be looking for an attorney, which, is what it is. I don't really know. Today we're back to being relatively civil. She had a real bitch attitude this morning. I called her out on it, and then she just checked it. She even said, like, "I'm gonna get it under control. I'm not gonna keep being this way." And so we may be in the upswing. We'll see how it goes. I don't know, but we'll see. I just wanted to put this video out because I think you guys find this kind of shit interesting, as basically also baby, I'm trying to record a private video here. Can you please stop following me? I wanted to put this video out because it's kind of also a proof of life. You know what I mean? Like, I did not hang myself. If I should have a heart attack, hopefully there'll be a toxicology report to determine whether or not this was induced by some kind of foreign agent that might have been slipped into one of my protein smoothies at night. Because that's the thing that's kind of creeped me out about my wife, is she can be real angry at me, like fucking hating me. But every night before she goes to bed, now maybe this is a testament to what a great woman she is, but sometimes she's a little too excited. She'll be like, "Hey Mike, do you need anything before you go to sleep? Need a protein or anything?" "Yeah, I do." She'll just bring it and drop it off at my bed, on my nightstand. And I'll taste it, get like a little test taste. No, doesn't taste like anthrax. I mean, I don't really know what anthrax would taste like, but just do like a couple of sips, see what's going. So far, so good. She was hell-bent on growing an oleander in our front yard. Maybe I should be counting the leaves on that plant because I know that happens to be toxic. But yeah, so there it is. Mostly I'm joking, but for real, that's how it went down last night. So we'll see how it's going today. The Anavar is clearly taking hold of her. She's having a lot of mood swings and some real serious moodiness. Here comes this fucking wind again. So we'll see how it goes, but there you have it. That's what's going on today. I'm gonna try to make another rant video tonight. I think what I'm gonna do is a whole series of trend rants. You guys seem to like that. There's so many times during the day that I go off about something, and it's usually just my wife about shit. And I thought, I need to get down in front of the camera and just get some of this shit out there. Just get it off my chest, I was going mental over that Bud Light scam with Dylan Mulvaney there for a while. Maybe I'll do a video on that. And I've been also planning on talking about this, where the DEA is trying to come after our TRT. Really bad take there, guys. If that's still in the pipeline, you need to shut that down, because all you're gonna do is funnel more business to China than they're already getting. So anyway, I don't want to keep this going on too long. That's what's going on, guys. Protect the cycle. Pray for me if you pray. Do some meditation. Do a couple of reps for me. It's been ugly in the house, but hopefully it'll get better and there'll be more content to follow, and we'll see you on the next one.